Hi, welcome to Straight Talk. You know, one of the things we always talk about on this show is a need for drug and alcohol treatment programs. And one of the reasons programs were not opening were the insurance cost and the fact that insurance companies weren't paying for people to get treatment. Well, believe it or not, with the new Affordable Care Act, known as Obamacare, that's covered now. And so we're seeing some new programs finally start to open up. And today we're going to talk about one of those programs called the Marilyn Addiction Recovery Center, which just opened in Towson. And it's a brand new program and something we desperately need, not only for adults, but for our kids. So today on Straight Talk, we're going to talk about the Affordable Care Act and how it impacts this new program that's opening. And the executive director, Sam Bierman, is with us, and congratulations for opening.
Thank you.
Thank you for opening.
Of course.
I'm sure the public is very, very happy
Absolutely.
to have a resource. So again, welcome to Baltimore.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
This is great. Well, let's talk about first the Maryland Addiction Recovery Center.
Sure.
Where are you? What do you offer?
We're located right off the Beltway at 110 West Road, right in the heart of Towson. And we are offering a wide range of outpatient services currently. So we can do anything from partial hospitalization, which would be a 5-day, very intensive drug treatment program, all the way from an intensive outpatient program to regular outpatient, which might meet once or twice a week, to even private practice. We also have a physician on staff that could do outpatient detox services also.
So meaning if somebody needs to, you know, if they're on heroin or narcotics, you've got someone that can help
get
them off of that.
We have a physician that would medically supervise a taper for somebody that is physically dependent. The withdrawal symptoms from opiates can be very severe. So we have a medical doctor that is well-versed in detoxing people from opiates, and he does a fabulous job.
And this is all outpatient?
All on an outpatient basis,
I mean, that's the cool part here. This is all outpatient. Even the day program, as you said, it's intensive, but it's still outpatient.
Absolutely.
So they can live at home. They can even work in their job, go to school, and still get good treatment.
And that's what we wanted to create.
Yeah.
We wanted to create a program that was flexible enough that the working class professional can keep his or her job, can stay with their family, can do all this work while continuing their daily lives. It also allows us as clinicians to look at their behaviors in their daily lives and address them in real time.
Yeah, that's the cool part.
Yeah.
Because again, when we look at cost, and you know, when you talk to people who either are seeking drug treatment, need treatment for somebody, they go, oh my God, it's $30,000 a month or more. I don't have that kind of money. What am I gonna do for my kid, for my spouse? And you know, it gets into a money problem.
Absolutely. And we don't want to, a lot of people that suffer from drug addiction, that suffer from mental illness, don't usually have a ton of financial resources. Drug addiction is very expensive, so a lot of people run out of their financial resources while they're out using. So we wanted to be able to take commercial insurance to tell that population that quality treatment is available for you without breaking the bank.
Now, for many years, we haven't seen any new program. I think what you've done at Maryland Addiction Recovery Center by opening up in Towson and taking insurance, you know, seems to be a direct correlation to what's going on with the Affordable Care Act, which does what? There's a mandate for coverage?
Yeah, there is a mandate for coverage, and really what it does, or what was happening in the past, I like to compare it to kind of like a doctor having to walk out in the middle of heart surgery. So insurance companies were cutting benefits right in the middle of treatment. Wow. And now what the parity has given us the ability to do is it's given equal coverage for substance abuse and mental health compared to any other medical procedure. So it would be the same for regular physicians, doctor's office, the same for surgeries and any type of intensive treatment that you need medically. Now substance abuse and mental health is being covered in the same light.
And I don't think that's ever been that way before.
No, never.
Because, I mean, we're all complaining, everyone yells about Obamacare and how this and this, but here's something that if you're a parent and your child needs drug or alcohol treatment, or your spouse needs drug or alcohol treatment, the first thing you're going to think about is, do I have money?
Absolutely.
Now they're going to say, I've got coverage because it's mandated, bam,
Exactly.
And you have opened up your program to do that.
Absolutely.
That's the first I've heard of to do that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and we, you know, we really did it right in the time, in line with the Affordable Care Act purposely, because we wanted to be able to provide this service right as the Affordable Care Act was coming out to show this benefit that it has, and to show that population that wouldn't necessarily be able to afford that quality care treatment, that they are able to afford it now, that they can get it coverage through their private insurance, through commercial insurance, and they could get the help that they need.
And as you said before, there's no excuse now not to get treatment.
Right.
And again, whether it's mental health, whether it's addictions, when we look at all the problems and the issues, the school shootings that have gone on, the crime that goes on, the violence, the desperation that happens with families who have addiction problems. I mean, there's no excuse now.
Absolutely.
I mean, they can actually get the help that a month or two ago they couldn't.
And one of the really nice things is just not getting acute help. It's more getting the long-term help. Treating addiction is a process. It takes time. It's not going to be treated overnight. So what this Parity Act allows us to do is take our time and really get to the core causes and conditions, underlying issues of really what's going on.
Okay, Marilyn Addiction Recovery Center, brand new, and you're located
110 West Road, right in the heart of Towson.
Now that's near what?
We're right in between Kenilworth and York Road, right on West Road.
Kenilworth Shopping Center.
Kenilworth Shopping Center, right around the corner.
People in Baltimore need places, you know, it's hard to know.
There's a BMW dealership right next to us.
See, now everyone will know. You got the BMW, the Kenilworth Mall, and you're behind it.
Exactly.
So it's what, an office building?
It's a very nice office building. It's very confidential, very discreet. Everything that we try to do, we do in the best interest of our patients. So we wanted to pick a space that was not going to stand out to people, that if you saw somebody walking in, you would know where they were going. So we wanted to pick a discreet, very nice, very welcoming office building, and that's what we found.
Okay, all right. Marilyn Addiction Recovery Center. I want to keep talking about some of the services because I know you do some stuff for kids, for DWIs. Certainly today we saw Justin Bieber get arrested for everything.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know anything he wasn't doing today, and maybe you can talk about that a little bit too. But we're talking with Sam Bierman. He's the Executive Director of the Maryland Addiction Recovery Center. They're located in Towson. We're putting up their website, their numbers going up throughout the show. If you got a problem, give them a call. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back to Straight Talk, we're going to keep talking about the Maryland Addiction Recovery Center, the Affordable Care Act, how you and your family can now get help for a mental health or substance abuse problem. So stay with us. We're coming right back to Straight Talk.
Welcome to Cook It Safe Challenge. In this round, teams must read and follow package cooking instructions and know your microwave wattage. 1100 watts. You can find the wattage in the owner's manual, on the appliance label, or by contacting the manufacturer. Each team has been given a frozen entree to safely prepare.
Oh, wait, what is the wattage of the microwave? Whatever.
Oh, sorry, Team 2. You get a red card for not checking the cooking instructions and not knowing the wattage.
Wattage? It won't just cook?
Microwaves have different wattages.
I told you we should have checked the package instructions and checked the wattage of the microwave. It's not cooked safely. I wouldn't eat this, it's cold.
If you don't follow the cooking instructions, some foods may be hot but may not have reached a safe internal temperature. Use a food thermometer to be sure.
You win. We just kept focus on reading and following the package cooking instructions.
We knew the wattage of our microwave so the food cooked safely.
And the challenge continues. Can you cook it safe?
Getting out of the military, I was missing this camaraderie.
It's frustrating when you try and talk to people who don't understand.
I would be talking, but I wasn't there with them. It just feels so alone.
I still had the anger, I still had the addictions, but we didn't talk about that.
Came to a point where it's like, okay, I really need to talk to somebody about this.
Family more or less encouraged me, go to the VA, you're better, see what they can do to help you.
When you have family, friends, when you have the facilities like the VA and the vet center, it gives me, it gives others encouragement to keep moving forward.
It's okay to go get help. It's okay to talk to people.
because it takes true strength to ask for help. Talking with other veterans was the best method for learning the roadmap to success.
Your veterans' real stories of strength and recovery at MakeTheConnection.net.
Hi, welcome back to Straight Talk. We're talking about drug and alcohol treatment, mental health treatment, now being covered by the Affordable Care Act, known to all of us as Obamacare. It's covered. When you get that insurance, you have coverage now for addictions and mental health, much like you do for a hospital. We haven't had that before, and it's a wonderful thing. And because of that, we have a new program right here in Baltimore, in Towson, called the Marilyn Addiction Recovery Center. And we're talking with the Executive Director, Sam Bierman, about everything they offer and how much we appreciate them being open to help us. We got a lot of problems here in the Baltimore area when we talk about drugs and alcohol. Now, there's a lot of services. You mentioned a few of them. Now, you have a special program for kids or teens or whatever, because not many programs work with kids. They'll do adults only. And they don't do kids. Maybe they don't like working with kids. Is that hard to work with kids?
It's tough. It is very tough. But what we did is we created a program called Recovery After 3. Meaning that we do an after-school outpatient, intensive outpatient program for the adolescents suffering from drug addiction and mental illness. And the reason why we did this is we saw a need, a gap in services that needed to be filled for this. A lot of our teens, as we watch the trends of drug addiction, a lot of the kids are starting younger and younger and younger. They're having problems younger and younger and younger. A lot of the teens get their licenses at 16 and 17, and they get into trouble almost immediately. So we really saw a need to target that population and serve that population to help treat them with their issues.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, you know, and the concept of right after school. So again, they don't have to miss school.
Exactly.
They can live at home, but in that middle ground period after school, they can be in treatment.
Exactly.
Now, how many nights is this like? How does this work?
So intensive outpatient for adolescents is 3 nights a week, 3 hours each night from 3:30 p.m. until 6:30 p.m. Along with that, they'll also be having 1 individual therapy session a week with an individual therapist. And that individual therapist will not only work with the adolescent, with the identified patient, but with the family as well.
Yeah, that's great. It's 10 hours a week.
Yeah.
That's intensive, all right. That's
Absolutely.
great. Now, when you work with teens, you said earlier in the other segment about the long term, that we don't do enough, that you can't change people in just a couple weeks or once a week seeing a counselor. Is that why you create the intensive outpatient that we call it now?
Absolutely, and especially with teens that every single day while they're in school, while they're out with their friends, they're surrounded by peer pressure. They're surrounded by these outside influences. So the more time they spend in school, the more time they spend with us, the less time they're out there doing that stuff and being exposed to it. So that's the other reason too, is we want them with us. We want to spend time with them, we want to get to know them, and we want to be able to help them on every aspect of what's going on with them. Not just with the drug addiction itself, but with the underlying issues, with any problems that are going on at home, any issues they're having at school, and especially any social issues, which is a very big problem with the teens.
Yeah, it's a good point to bring up that, you know, and maybe that's the answer here that I was looking for earlier, which is when we talk about addiction treatment, it's way bigger than just, okay, stop smoking pot. Stop drinking, stop snorting cocaine. It's way bigger because you got to get to the root cause.
Absolutely. You got to look at the underlying character pathologies regarding this. A lot of people that come in for drug addiction have past trauma. Looking at that trauma that usually has not been addressed is a big issue of why they're acting the way that they're acting. And a lot of times they've never even thought about it that way, and they've gone 5, 10, 15 years without looking at some of those incidents that happened to them when they were younger and properly addressing them.
And usually something bad happens. I mean, you've been in drug treatment business for a long time, and I don't think people come dancing into treatment, you know, saying, help me. Usually they get something, because people always say you can't help somebody till they reach, but reality is you get arrested, you lose your job, somebody's forcing you.
Absolutely.
Now, when you get them, then it's up to you and your staff to work with somebody who probably doesn't really want to be there.
It's tough. I mean, you're absolutely right. There usually is a precipitating incident that happens that either externally or internally motivates the person to come to us, or motivates, with the teens, the parents to send their children into treatment. And it's very tough. A lot of them come in kicking and screaming. They don't want to be there. Not a lot of people, when they were younger and they grew up and they're like, you know what I'm going to do when I'm 17? I'm going to check myself into treatment. That wasn't in their plans. That's not their ideas, you know? So we have to make that connection with them as soon as possible, what I call the Therapeutic Alliance, which is between a therapist or one of my staff and the patient. Developing that Therapeutic Alliance is so critical right away. Because
they need to come back.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's about coming back. And now some of them might be forced, and that's good, because I think that gives you some time to work with them. But as you say, if they don't develop a trust, and, you know, and they're not going to come back. They're going to.
Right.
But, you know, the cool part of what you're doing at Marilyn Addiction Recovery Center is they don't have to go to Florida or Pennsylvania. There's not many residential programs for teens anywhere.
Right.
This is an alternative.
Absolutely.
This way the parents can be there. Because I knew people that had their kid go to Florida, and the family had to fly down to Florida every whenever. You know, this
costs more money.
Yeah, this is
time
right
off
here.
Work.
And
Absolutely.
you do work, you mentioned, you work with families.
Oh, we have, at Marilyn Addiction Recovery Center, we have a huge philosophy of involving the families in treatment. We want them involved as much as possible. For a couple reasons. First reason is we would really like them involved, one, to support the patient, to support their child, their spouse, whoever they're bringing into us. The second reason is we want to help them get through this process also. This is not an easy process for parents to go through. Sending their child to treatment is not an easy process for them. So we want to be able to do some work with them to help them through this process, and also educate them on signs, symptoms, everything to look for in the home also.
Yeah, I think that's important. So whether it's an adult or a child, that family is important.
Absolutely.
You know, and because they're local, they can just come by, which is, again, a big plus. We're talking with Sam Bierman, Executive Director, Marilyn Addiction Recovery Center. They're located in Towson, right behind the BMW dealership and the Kenilworth Shopping Center, so everyone knows where it is. Great program. If you need help, they're a good one. So we're going to take a short break, come back and talk a little more with Sam about a few more of the services that they offer at the Marilyn Addiction Recovery Center, and how you can check to make sure you do have that coverage to get help. So stay with us. We're coming right back to Straight Talk.
Welcome to Cook It Safe Challenge. In this round, teams must read and follow package cooking instructions and know your microwave wattage.
1100 watts.
You can find the wattage in the owner's manual, on the appliance label, or by contacting the manufacturer. Each team has been given a frozen entree to safely prepare.
Oh, wait, what is the wattage of the microwave? Whatever.
Oh, sorry, Team 2. You get a red card for not checking the cooking instructions and not knowing the wattage.
Wattage? It won't just cook?
Microwaves have different wattages.
I told you we should have checked the package instructions and checked the wattage of the microwave. It's not cooked safely. I wouldn't eat this, it's cold.
If you don't follow the cooking instructions, some foods may be hot but may not have reached a safe internal temperature. Use a food thermometer to be sure.
You win. We just kept focus on reading and following the package cooking instructions.
We knew the wattage of our microwave so the food cooked safely.
And the challenge continues. Can you cook it safe?
Hi, welcome back to Straight Talk. We're talking with Sam Bierman, Executive Director of the Maryland Addiction Recovery Center, a new drug and alcohol program for teenagers, adults, families. They do everything. They're located in Towson. We're going to put their number up and everything so you can get some help. But the best part is they have coverage through the Obamacare, Affordable Care Act, where you've got coverage now to get your family member, the person you care about, help. So we're with Sam Bierman, Executive Director.
Thanks, Mike.
You know, we hear a lot about, you know, the marijuana business. Justin Bieber today just got arrested for probably doing everything, but he said he was smoking pot, drinking, pills, and driving. Now, DWIs, DUIs, that's a big, big issue. Drinking and driving, drugs and driving, a big issue. Maryland has a good system to get people help, and you guys are certified to do that.
Absolutely.
Tell us about that DWI program.
So our DWI program consists of a couple things. First, we do the court-mandated 12 hours of education that a lot of courts require as a diversion program, as an alternative sentencing program. Instead of somebody that gets a DUI going to jail, they would come to us and get 12 hours of DUI, DWI education. Before that even happens, we're going to sit them down with one of our licensed clinicians, and they're going to get a full assessment so we could get the full picture of what's going on with them so that we could treat everything.
So whether or not they're a problem drinker, not a problem drinker, that way you'll know.
Exactly.
And they're sent to you by the courts usually.
Yeah.
So then you can let the court know, and the court can say, you know, we're going to listen to this evaluation.
Absolutely.
So that way we're helping people that need the help, not going to jail, but getting education and treatment.
We send everything to the attorneys, communicate with the courts and the attorneys on a regular basis, send them the assessments, give them updates on progress and everything so that they have all the information that they need. What I really see it's doing, it's really getting a lot of people help in terms of alternative sentencing.
Right. I know when I get phone calls from people, I tell them immediately, get into a DWI program. If you're arrested for drunk driving, immediately get into a program regardless of what you think is going on, because again, drunk drivers tend to not think that they have a problem.
Yeah, and it's also good, it looks great at the courts if you do this preemptively. If you do this even before your sentencing and get in a program right away, it really shows that you're motivated to get help and to start making some changes in your life.
Yeah, so that's an important program to have. So that's certified. I mean, that's the other thing I think people need to know in Maryland. Maybe you can explain that, but we do have a pretty strict certification process in Maryland.
Absolutely. The certification process in Maryland is run by the Department of Mental Health and Hygiene. So we are a state certified program on all outpatient levels of care, as well as our DUI, DWI education. So the Department of Mental Health and Hygiene sets rules and regulations that we have to abide by when treating anybody that comes to us for any type of addiction or mental health.
Yeah, that's a good thing, I think.
Absolutely.
Some states may not have a good, you know, monitoring to make sure programs do what they say they're going to do.
Absolutely.
All right, I know we don't have a lot of time left, but the insurance issue, we started off by talking about people having insurance now. So when someone calls for help, you can help them evaluate their insurance, know what coverage they have. Is that a service you do?
Absolutely, and that's for anybody, whether we take their insurance or don't take their insurance. We can verify their benefits for any insurance company that they're with, including the state insurance plans under the Affordable Care Act, including Medicare and Medicaid. So worst comes to worst, we can always verify someone's benefits and let them know where they're going to be accepted and where they're not. We also love when people call up, and even if we can't take them, we're able to make an appropriate referral for them.
Yeah, and help them get what they need.
Exactly.
And hopefully, as this whole insurance really flushes itself out over time, then it won't even be an issue.
Right.
And the other thing for people out there, remember that if you have someone, a child 26 and under, they can go under your plan.
Exactly.
You know, which probably will have more coverage for substance abuse, and I think that's an important part of it. All right, let's tell again. We're Marilyn Addiction Recovery Center. The numbers on the screen, website. There it is. It looks like a great website. Give them a call if you got a problem. Kids, adults, anybody, family members, just give you a call. Right. Even if you're not sure, right?
Absolutely. Even if you're not sure, it's a great time to call.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you got somebody you can talk to, get an idea. That's what I tell people. Go talk to somebody who knows this business to help you.
Absolutely.
Can't hurt.
Can't hurt.
You know, it can't hurt. Well, you know, look, there it is. There's the number up there, 773-0500. Give them a call. I want to thank you,
Thank you
for being on the show. It was great. It's good to have a new resource, you know, in the Baltimore area.
Absolutely. We're very happy to be here.
And it's great. Maryland Addiction Recovery Center. They're in Towson. They take insurance, everything that you need. So hopefully people will take advantage of it. But welcome, you know, and again, congratulations for opening.
Thanks so much, Mike.
Great.
Pleasure.
Today on Straight Talk, we're talking about the Affordable Care Act, the coverage that you will now have for substance abuse and mental health. It's important to know your plan, know what services you have. If anybody in your family, anybody that you care about, has a problem with substance abuse, check your coverage. Maryland Addiction Recovery Center is out there. Give them a call. They'll help you. If they can't do the service, they'll help you find the service. But right now, it's important that we get help for the people that need it. So I want to thank them for being our guest. Thank you for watching Straight Talk, and we'll see you next time.
You wrote me a letter and said a deed was going to be transferred in my name, a building. And I did receive the building. It was almost $1 million building.
I was blessed financially. It was $7,000. I said, praise God. And thank you.
$7,000 miracle.
You told me 48 days, for 48 days, I would receive a blessing for 48 days. I honestly tell y'all, I never seen this man, never met him a day in my life. It has been about 15. He said on April the 28th that my 48 days would be up. I have not stopped receiving blessings since the day he gave me that letter.
He told me in the same month everything would happen right after another. I got the home, I got the car, and I got $8,000 financial blessing. Hallelujah!
I received $1,500 on March the 30th, the exact same date that you said.